Welcome to the final showdown of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League in its 6th season and in the final season of 2025. The two Williams have traded ones and twos throughout the season. Last time out we saw the biggest strike of destiny, and it's hit Crustunet, who is here driving around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in a special liveried Williams e-racing car. They have already wrapped up the Constructors' Championship at Sao Paulo, at Turkey, I'm sorry, and now they rock the special livery for Nikhil, whose home race it is, of course. Crustunet is now 14.5 points behind his teammate Laguno, who has already won a championship in the spring 2025 season and has got the most wins and poles by far, 23 wins, 4 of them this season. Crustunet now only on 3 wins, and they are going at it around here yet again at 25.72 for Crustunet around this track. 14 corners, 8 to the left and 6 to the right. We're gonna have 44 laps. It's quite a short track with many hairpins and chicanes, and that's why chaos is predicted. Now Laguno has gone ahead of his teammate, and also Nitro is up there. He's on the front row. Sigma Bob is in 4th place. He is returning in the second half of the season. He's had a great run in the first half. Now he is back to MP Motorsport, the team that he's been racing on last season and where he took his first podium at Germany. Now he is coming across the line again. 25.90 is not an improvement. Laguno, Nitro and Crustunet still leading the way with 50 seconds on the clock. Here is Justin racing for Etruria Racing Team. They have got a special livery today, shining more in bright red than ever before. Here's Alonso again in the APA, who've still got their special livery. Then there's Nitro in the final race of Minardi's first season. They've also gone for a black and yellow special livery. Matt is now in the Hurricane Racing Team instead of the MP Motorsport. That's also very interesting to see. He missed a race last time out, which is a very rare thing for him. Him and Laguno do have the most by far. And that is Senna in the S25M, also red and white today. And now we have only 5 seconds on the clock. Crustunet is gonna get another lap in now. The time has ticked down, and this is Crustunet's final lap in qualifying. The area of the race weekend where he has been in the strongest in, and now he's hit the grass, and that might not be an improvement. It looks like it's going to be pole position number 3 for Laguno this season. Crustunet through the wall of champions chicane. What are we gonna see later on today through there? Still a below 26 time for him, but Crustunet not managing it. Where is Laguno on track? He has taken pole position. For the 4th time this season, our team's champions lock out the front row, but Crustunet misses out on the first 2 points that were up for grabs over 1 lap. Nitro, what a performance yet again from him. Sigma Bob returns to racing with P4 in qualifying. Senna qualified on the front row at Niagara Falls and then missed out on the podium, and he wasn't happy about that at all. At least he's not got much to lose this time around. Justin is also looking for a return to the podium, starting from P6. And Alonso's comeback continues here in Canada, and he's helping APA to hopefully save them from being relegated. Currently they're the team that are sitting in P9 and last in the team's standings. It's Phoenix and Smooth Operator who are starting in 8th and 9th respectively, and split the 2 APAs, and they're also fighting in that pack. And the 3rd team in there is MP Motorsport, where Sigma Bob is in P4 and Piggy only in 15th place today. So it would have to be another amazing comeback from him. He did so last time out, going from 13th to 5th. And Guillermo, very interesting, is also starting for APA. And Seb returns to the team that he's had his best season with back in the winter of 2025. And Matt is in P12 in the HRT. He's really struggling at the moment, so did Piggy not trust him enough and instead put in the driver that scored their last podium F1 fan who took a surprising podium at the Niagara Falls qualifies in P13 ahead of Toaster in the Minardi, Piggy, as I said, in P15, Paradrive in the second HRT, and Alessandro for one time, starting from the back of the grid, which consists of 17 drivers today.
We are now on the racing grid here in Canada for the last race of the season. Let's see what happens. It's lights out and away we go. Average start from Crustunet. Maybe he'll go for a dive. He doesn't and stays behind. Oh, what a move there. And Laguno second, Crustunet first on the mediums, Nitro third, Sigma Bob fourth. The contenders are fighting and a mistake by Nitro and Laguno. Crustunet keeps the lead. And as for the rest of the drivers, it's chaos. It is a scary track, it's a very tight one as well. Yagi, I'm gonna give the lead to you now.
Many of the drivers have hit the grass coming into the hairpin for the first time. Nitro once again being sent back as he hits the grass in turn 1 as well. Laguno and Crustunet wheel to wheel at the front. The two championship protagonists now inviting Sigma Bob and Justin to their party. Sigma Bob, who's finished second place last time out he raced. Once again they all tap the grass there, and Justin now edging in front in the Etruria Racing team again, and through the wall of champions chicane Laguno going across the runoff, and Crustunet in second place now. Justin with a mistake, Sigma Bob squeezing Laguno to the inside, and Crustunet's back in front. He needs more than that from his teammates so he can still become champion, otherwise it's once again gonna be heartbreak for him. And Alonso and Senna now also in there.
Oof, lots of pushes here for Crustunet. He is losing time. So is Laguno though, with who is currently first, Sigma Bob leading the way. Alonso in third, something I wasn't expecting, let's be honest. Ooh, lag for Alonso. This is not very good to see, but we are really hoping he can continue racing now. I thought that was a mistake by Crustunet, but it's just Wi-Fi issues it seems. What moves will be? Senna will now on the inside. Will he go for it? Will he manage? No, he doesn't. Almost crashes Laguno. Seb is going to be going for a move, but no, he backs out. Here is Crustunet going for a double move, maybe. No, that's a very risky move. He almost manages it though. Like, I think you need to pick it up here because I am not very good in this.
Hey, they are all incredibly impatient, so they don't leave us much time anyway. Let's see how the strategies are looking. Sigma Bob's on the soft tire and also leading the way, so that is very good for him. Crustunet picking up the slipstream, and Justin no longer, so he might be vulnerable to Laguno and Alonso, who are also on the softs. It does 10 to 16 laps around here. The mediums 13 to 18, and the hards 16 to 22, but barely anybody has gone for them at the front. It is the first race for Seb in a long time. He's now fallen back behind Senna.
Lots of side-by-sides. This might be scary here for Piggy as he is. He might try and do something. Will he gain a position there? No, Senna squeezes him on the inside. Well, I don't think that's a very nice move. This could be penalized later on. We are currently watching Seb. I'm not entirely sure for the corners which one is which, so trying to understand. Yeah, I think Laguno got pole, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, is this server lag? Yeah, it is. Ooh,
it might be. I just didn't see it. If Laguno finishes anywhere in the top 4, he is gonna be crowned champion. And if he takes P5 and the pole position, he is as well. And that's everything that he's already done. So yeah, not looking good for Crustunet at the moment. But this time he is in it. This time he can fight. He's had 2 fights in the past against Guillermo and F1 fan last season, where he didn't race in the last round. And now Justin and Laguno going all over the road, but Laguno going through, and Justin with mistake on the grass now in the hairpin. Laguno leaving him the room and getting a good exit, but Justin now doing so as well. Behind that, Justin and Senna are not gonna be rookies anymore after this season. What a year! Yeah, what a quarter of a year it's been for them. And the lead of the race for Crustunet now, ahead of Sigma Bob. The soft tires are now giving up, and they touch the grass on purpose. But slowly, I'm thinking that's just a strategy that I'm not aware of.
Yeah. So what does Crustunet need to do for him to win the title? Does Laguno need to finish outside of the top 5?
Yes, he does. If Crustunet finishes first and takes fastest lap, Laguno has to finish in P6 and not take pole position.
Ooh, that's actually very harsh. Didn't he take pole position?
Yes, so it has to be... It has to be even more. It's looking difficult. Yeah.
A lot of chaos here. As you can see, lots of side-by-sides. It is quite a tight track, so I don't think it's very smart to do such things, but yeah, whatever. I'm not really aware of how racing here and mobile works anymore.
Now Williams 1-2 for just a moment as Laguno went ahead of the Flying Dutchman Justin, but now he's gone into the pit lane on the medium tires and he's going to come out right in the traffic between the two Astons. And there's Senna and a F1 fan in the one time who've also got a special livery to celebrate their 60th race. So every single race for one time, and they have been a part of it. But Laguno is still at the back with Guillermo and Senna battling away, and Paradrive trying to pull alongside Toaster. And Justin pits a lap later than Laguno, but still comes out far behind, so Laguno not losing that much time in the traffic so far. And now he's managed to clear quite a lot of it.
Yeah, hopefully he does. This seems like his chance to win it. Or at least, obviously, not to lose too many points to lose the title. Senna stays behind him, he has pitted, so they might be looking to help each other here, so that they can get better positions in the race, obviously. Will Crustunet manage to get in front of both of them? Yes, he does, and he is a second and a half behind Sigma Bob, as it seems. The fights here seem to be dramatic and really crazy. Lots of cuts, lots of pushing. Ooh, what happened there? This was something. Yeah, kinda crazy.
Sigma Bob is going all out. He's gone for soft tires in his second stint as well. And just trying to pull a gap now against Crustunet, who's gone for the hard. So it might actually work out. And we are going to see the Williams very closely together in this phase of the race. And maybe towards the checkered flag yet again, as we've seen last season at Germany, these two. And then at the start of the season, they battled at Japan and at Portugal and at Spain, of course, where they tied across the line for the victory. Sao Paulo again. And so it boils down to the final race at Canada with Laguno sizing up his first move, maybe messing up his line a little bit out of the hairpin, but with the slipstream, the longest slipstream that's been introduced for this season, he is gonna manage to still stay close for lap 18 out of 45. And Senna has now established himself in fourth for the moment, ahead of his rookie rival Justin, who is still in third in the championship and is probably going to bring that one home.
Yeah, it seems interesting that so many rookies are getting wins this season. I haven't really been keeping up with UMRL lately, but it's really interesting to see drivers that don't have the same amount of experience as others get the wins. It really is something spectacular, if you ask me.
And Laguno is now past Crustunet for P2, so now it is not looking good anymore for Crustunet. He's still in the slipstream, trying to fight for the race win here, but the hopes are very little, I have to say. The two Spaniards in the Canadian team. But let's look down the order as well, because there is a fight for P7 in the Teams Championship, and that is very important because the one team that finishes in 9th is going to be relegated, forced to leave the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. Interrupt me, Sudjuche, if there's a fight between the Williams. But MP Motorsport is in P7 and who's the second in P? That's Sigma Bob, of course. It's looking great for them. Smooth 55, and then Phoenix in P14 and P10. So that's quite solid. And APA with Alonso in P6. He's doing a fantastic job on his return, even though he's not on the server. And is there another MP on the road? I don't think so. Ah, yes, Guillermo Guillermo in the APA, interesting to see. He's raced for Hurricane Racing Team already, but the loyal Arturia man, not racing that much anymore this season. And now also helping out APA to maybe stay in the fight, but I think it's going to be APA to leave at this point. And Sigma Bob pits now.
Well, Crustunet took the lead from Laguno. I think currently they're playing the team game, trying to not interrupt each other. At least not too much. Maybe Laguno is going for a move. Yeah, he is, it seems. I'm only looking at the timing screen, so I can't really tell what's happening between them. But hopefully they're helping each other. This will not benefit Crustunet, but it will benefit Laguno greatly. I think there is some kind of respect between the two.
They're both sending each other off the racing line many times. Laguno has kept his head in this game so far. And Crustunet stays behind. The mediums of Laguno are getting worse though, as we soon reach the halfway point of this race. And Crustunet looking on the outside of turn 1, but then of course turn 2 is flat out in this game, at least in qualifying, probably not anymore for Laguno and his tires, as they both tap the grass, maybe to slow themselves down, because they are sliding so much, but maybe also just because they are making mistakes under the pressure, as Laguno is also trying to do something nobody has ever achieved before, and Crustunet of course trying to achieve his dream finally. And still he's side by side now going into the second chicane, but Laguno just keeping the inside line there, now making a mistake. It's an easy one to do. And now Crustunet once again passed.
Yeah, currently what they're doing is certainly not team-like, but it makes sense for them to be fighting. Crustunet wants the title, Laguno wants to be the first two-time champion ever. Ooh, what was that now?
It looked like Laguno was braking.
Yeah, he maybe wanted to get him pass, maybe he pushed him. Or at least he thought he was pushing him. Yeah, this Laguno's tires are pretty much worn out by now. With Crustunet on the hards, I think this will be an overcut, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Ooh, Laguno with a big mistake now. Will he keep in slip? Maybe. Yeah, he is in the slipstream. Ooh, Laguno with another mistake.
On the grass, and Sigma Bob is catching them from behind on the fresh mediums. He is so far off sync out after his 2 soft tire stints that he is now catching them before they make the next pit stop. Now Laguno does so. With Crustunet, we're gonna have to wait for the next few laps. But Sigma Bob now a big unknown, kinda like Senna in the second race this season, where he then went on to take a podium. Not fighting for the win, but of course Sigma Bob was in the lead. So we're gonna have to wait and see probably until the final laps of the race, where the Italian driver is gonna be. And maybe he's gonna bring the first win for MP Motorsport, not Piggy. But still, it looks like they're gonna save themselves quite clearly from being demoted.
Yeah, I think I talked to Piggy like maybe before the race, so he said he wanted to save MP from being relegated. They were one of the most dominant teams in Season 2, if I believe, with Piggy taking the title and them winning the Constructors' Championship. Alonso seems to want to slip Piggy, or at least help each other so that they can catch up to the pack by the movements they are doing. Is Justin catching up to Laguno? Maybe he is. He is on softs after all.
Senna is also in there on the fresh hards. Laguno, of course, still fresher tires, but Senna is not far off. Crustunet still going on his very old set there, and maybe even trying to get onto the soft tires, but that's gonna be a stretch still. But not the pit stop for him yet on the end of lap 32. Sigma Bob trying to score his second podium of the season. I would still say that it's been his best season ever, as he's now been signed by a Arturia Racing Team and maybe now back to MP.
Ooh, what a move.
And a move by Laguno.
Yeah, holy. So clean as well. Genuinely. He's really showing some class. Oh, big send by Justin here. The softs really help him on the straight. I think there is some kind of boost, if I believe. So it's making this a lot harder for Laguno currently. He may be willing to let him in front, to let him lead at least for now so they can catch up to Senna. Oh, another mistake by Laguno. Oof, it doesn't seem good for him, but Crustunet currently is absolutely dominating this race. I think he's going for another set of hards, if I'm right, or mediums maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, we don't have a chance of rain around here, I believe, because that's what I was just thinking. Maybe Crustunet's going for a gamble here, but no, now he's right back in the fight with Justin, and he's gonna clear him right away into the hairpin, possibly down the inside. Laguno is forced onto the grasses, but all of them try to get onto that strip of grass, and Laguno now going into the left, maybe trying to, yeah, show Justin that that was not okay, but I am not entirely sure as Laguno pulls off the switchback. Maybe Justin is into the pit lane, and Crustunet squeezing his teammate, but Laguno round the outside in the first part of that chicane already, and on the old hard tires, he has got the authority over his teammate. Wow, and now he's pushing him into the wall there as well.
I think this was the perfect moment to say 2 goals Sigma Bob, but yeah, I think we missed the opportunity for that one.
That's very true.
Yeah. Ooh, what a sim by Laguno. This is becoming interesting.
It's not paid off though.
Yeah, it is really risky right now. He shouldn't be doing all this much currently. With the stakes he's taking, if he loses more positions, he has a chance of losing the title, so it's not a very great idea for him to be doing such stuff.
A new fastest lap by Crustunet as he's in the slipstream, double slipstream now basically, because Senna is in the race lead. But his hard tires are very old. Many different strategies in this final race in 2025. Sigma Bob now diving up the inside in turn 11, and Crustunet towards the wall of champions. Oh, bit onto the grass maybe, but they are all not too fast through there, trying to stay alive. And Sigma Bob squeezes Crustunet, and Laguno goes straight across turn 2 as well. And they all stay as they are, apart from Senna, who's down to 4th.
I mean, currently with the way things are looking, Justin is 6 seconds behind Senna, so Laguno just needs to keep it within this group to win the title, so I think it is very much possible. And I can say it's gonna be him this season. Yeah, it's really cool to see a 2-time world champion. Will Crustunet be going for a move here on Sigma Bob? No, a small mistake that costs him some time. Less than a tenth of difference, but it is an important tenth in the race for the championship. Senna loses the slipstream to Laguno and is falling behind fast. Will Crustunet be going for a move here? He might be squeezed again as he was last lap. He is now on the inside of the corner. Will Sigma Bob leave enough space? Crustunet backing off, and yeah, it pays out. Great move there. Not sure what that corner is called, but it is an interesting track for overtakes, at least in all those chicane type of corners. Sigma Bob will be looking to maybe help himself. Oh no, he will be going for a move here. Into the first corner. This is not a great place to overtake. In the second corner, if you get a good exit out of the first, you can obviously overtake, but it is quite hard. We're going on the outside with the older hards. This is an interesting race now. Senna is losing out on time, as is Justin. Biggie is having a big fight here with Nitro. And yeah, Larry, I think it's your turn now.
I mean, I have to say, what a phenomenal job by Sigma Bob. He returns after the 1 and 2 for Etruria Racing Team. Maybe he's gonna destroy this 1-2 for Williams at the very least. Otherwise, they've taken 8 1-2s, and we've not seen a 1-2 since season 1 before that. But Sigma Bob is right there with our 2 championship protagonists. We've now got 2 laps to go in this season. Justin, of course, has crowned himself AMRL World Champion ahead of Senna and Nitro in that fight. Justin's gonna take P5 behind Senna right now, although he's on a bit fresher softs, but they're gonna wear out as well. But I'm still looking at this fight at the very top, as their tires are all getting really old. Now Sigma Bob has managed to go for another set of softs in the end. But that also leaves him very vulnerable on the final lap of the race. Laguno shooting ahead, coming out of turn 2, and now he re-establishes the Williams 1-2. That's all that's to play for now. Crustunet seems like he's got this win in the bag, but we go towards the hairpin where the crazy dives are possible, and Laguno's going for it on the final lap of the race. He's gonna become the first two-time world champion of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League, and he makes sure to finish it on a high. But now Laguno slows down to let pass the pair of them, and Sigma Bob takes his first career victory for MP Motorsport. It's not Piggy who brings back their glory, but Sigma Bob in the last race where the Williams dominated. And Crustunet comes home to take second. Laguno uses the opportunity to also return the place to his teammate.
I mean, he did push him after all, so it is a respectful thing.
The racing driver with the number 67 ends up on top. Unbelievable. Fastest lap goes to Crustunet. Laguno is in P3. P4 goes to Senna in S25M. He was pretty disappointed with this result 1 week ago, but I think he maximized everything from where he started then. Justin in P5. Looked like a difficult race for him. Still at the top there. Let's see if they're gonna play a role in the championship fight next season. Let's see what Sigma Bob is gonna produce as well, because whenever he was there in the last few races, he was properly fighting for podiums and wins. Nitro in 6th place, definitely the star driver for Minardi. Really good second half of the season for him. Yeah, there was a very interesting fight for 5th place in the championship. Elcrack and Nitro were tied on points. Of course, Nitro is now going to get ahead of that. And he's also finished ahead of F1 fan Guillermo and Piggy. So congrats, Nitro, for taking 5th place. Then we have Piggy finishing off in P7. Definitely second fastest in the MP Motorsports, but they saved themselves, and even more than that, from leaving the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. And so, in the end, we have 4 different teams winning in a season that's been dominated by Williams. Great to see, I have to say.
Well, I really don't know, man. This was kind of crazy. I wasn't here for the whole season and then come back into the last race just to see what happens, and I genuinely don't know how to react.
You chose a good one.
Yeah, I did. It was quite exciting. Haven't seen such drama in a long time. Last time I was here, Laguno was dominating each race by like 10 seconds, so this makes a world of a difference, if you ask me. You probably won't see me again for next season. If I have the time, I'll come for 1 or 2 races, but I'll be a wild card.
It's definitely been a pleasure again. I'm just gonna round the finishing order up then. F1 fan, no, Alonso in 8th place, Guillermo in 10th. Oh, it's not looking good for Aston, is it? Smooth just taking 1 point in P12. Maybe there's gonna be some sort of penalty ahead of them, and then Phoenix might also still score. But I think that is it for Oski's team that's existed since Season 1, with which Crustunet has taken 6 career wins. They did have a solid lineup this season, kind of, with Smooth and Phoenix, and especially with Norris at the start who took a podium. But it wasn't enough. It's been incredibly competitive then. Yeah, F1 fan in P9 for one time, taking a podium last time out. I think that's more than what would have satisfied him this season. Guillermo in P10, not his best race, but interesting to see him race for APA. And of course, he's just enjoying his life in this league now. Toaster in P11. Yeah, one of the toughest seasons for him, or at least there wasn't much to talk about from my side about him. Yeah, quite a calm season for him. Maybe working more behind the scenes as a team owner, but still he scored solid points, and still they managed to finish in P4. Seb in 14th. He's just raced 3 times this season, but yeah, also still great to see him. He's there since Season 2. His race win never came so far. But yeah, and then Paradrive at the back of the field with Frankie and Matt as well. Let's see where Matt is going to be next season. He definitely said that he is going to race. And no, Frankie too, but since it's just stupid.
But it was quite exciting, to be honest, with all these chicane type corners, the tight track, the last hairpin. It is quite a crazy track. Sigma Bob wasn't seen enough this race. He was kind of like a black horse. He was not expected to win this one. As for Krust and Laguno, they had a great battle, team-like battle with lots of pushing, lots of crazy overtakes.
He did a fantastic job, as did the two. Williams, congratulations on an amazing season. Crustunet, of course, kind of hurt by that retirement at Niagara Falls, but he has shown the entire world that he can fight with a two-time champion now as well. And of course, congrats to Laguno. Nothing more to say. He does his job for 6 seasons straight now. Had his device issues, of course, in season 2, but apart from that, he's always been a regular contender at the front, and also one of the more calm and composed guys on the server here. He knows how to stand for himself as well, I think. Yeah, just he really seems to know what he's doing. That's why it's working so well. Yeah, the cards are going to be reshuffled for the upcoming season. Crustunet, of course, leaving Williams. I haven't mentioned that a single time. Crustunet, of course, leaving Williams. So that was his first and only season for them. He's going to found his own team, Ibernova GP, next season. So a brand new challenge for him then, as he still tries to accomplish his first championship. So I know what that team is going to be built around, I guess. We might see Nitro, Senna, Justin fighting for wins, fighting for championships. And it's time for our final roundup of the standings table. Let's look at everyone who has raced this season. Rondo, Ozzy, Hanandi, Glow, Brazidus, Wilger, Finn, Petto and Pigeon, all with 0 points. Seb and Gyroson both scoring a point for Hurricane Racing Team, both in 12th place once. Paradrive has an S25M reserve driver, scored 6 points. All of them came at Istanbul Park. Then it's Fede, raced 6 rounds and once again DNF'd from 3 of them, but in the rest he scored points as the main driver for his own team that he is now, so no retirement anymore. And it's Alessandro, also on 10 points with 6th place in what was his return to the Ultimate Mobile Racing League 1 year after he last raced for the 101st. Juanvi, the reigning AMRL champion until this weekend, dropped down to P19 in the standings after not scoring a point in the entire second half of the season. And Lozi in 18th place and 13 points. Then it's Alonso on 15 points. Doesn't even seem like he's out of the server or out of the leagues. Phoenix, who was busy behind the scenes at Williams as a Williams reserve driver, never raced for them, but for Aston Martin, and took 15 points as well with them. Then Norris SP with his podium, which also was the only occasion where he scored points, and then he just disappeared after Portimao. And it was a disappointing 6th season for Matt in the leagues. Only 22 points across 9 rounds as the most experienced driver ever. Smooth in 13th after another season with Aston Martin, was the best driver for them, but it wasn't enough for them to stay on the grid for another season. And Maju in P12, it was a very busy season for him, I think, especially on the server and also off that, not so much on track, and he also then announced his retirement from racing so he can have more time for the rest. A 12th place with 4 rounds is very respectable, of course. His best result was P4 at the Circuito dos Cristais. And then we have Toaster, another full season for him. He's now had 38 races, but his podium successes from last season couldn't be repeated in his own team just yet. Another full season as well for Guillermo. And it's still quite the jump up to Guillermo from Toaster. That's the entire battle then for P5. The best results for Guillermo was P7 this season, but I think that's something we have to get used to. We'll see how Etruria Racing Team and Hurricane Racing Team are gonna coordinate all this, because I think that Etruria still want to get back to challenging Williams. Elcrack outscores Guillermo with 4 rounds and 2 4th places and 2 3rd places. That's Elcrack in a nutshell for you. I don't think that he's ever going to challenge for a championship, but hopefully his first win is going to come at some point. P's championship ambitions are also already satisfied since over a year in this league, but he's returned to racing, raced 9 times, and he's improved a lot also in that second half of the season, with 5th places being his best results. And the reigning champ, F1 fan, ends up on the same number of points as Piggy with 2 rounds less, but of course that podium at Niagara Falls, massively boosted by that 2nd place at Niagara Falls. Apart from that, very nice 5th place finishes too, but also some 11th places in there. And now we move on to the man of the moment, who almost ends up on top of this battle for 5th place, despite only racing 5 times. But ever since that 1-2 for Etruria Racing Team around Silverstone, Sigma Bob has been smashing it. And amidst the heat of the championship protagonists today, he kept a cool head. And so he becomes the 12th race-winning driver in the Ultimate Mobile Racing League's history. Will that moment also come for Nitro next season? He stays ahead of Sigma Bob in the standings by 1 point, with superb consistency since Barcelona. And then we jump up 33.5 points to Senna in 4th place, 1-time and S25M driver this season. Came to Brazil for his 2nd ever race and then took 3 podiums in a row, and his first race win later that season at Istanbul. Justin managed to stay pretty clear of Senna all the way through the season in P3, but they both have the same average finishing positions in the races. Justin, of course, has raced 2 times more. He already was a very interesting wildcard last season. At Brazil, he took the lead for a brief moment, then he fell down the order, but from Portugal onwards, where Senna and him qualified on the front row together, it was clear that he was also set to be up there on the sharp end. Then Etruria Racing Team picked him up, and he went on to take a win for them on debut at Silverstone. It's been very interesting to see the different approaches from the two. That's why you should definitely join the Discord server so you can just experience these developments over the season. But Senna's just been a lot more out there, a lot more polarizing as well, especially after the British Grand Prix, where he took a podium, tied with Crustunet, but also with Matt, who defended from him there. So 1 time, and Williams definitely weren't the best friends on that weekend. And Senna's also been learning from Crustunet, I think, since over a season now, and that is dangerous to hear. While there's a lot less noise around Justin, but that is also something that he enjoys, and it's been working for him ever since race 1. And then, of course, we've already mentioned it enough times, but the 2 Williams in P1 and P2, of course, 12.5 points was the gap in the end between Laguno and Crustunet. This likely cements Crustunet as the best driver not to win a world championship yet, and Laguno as the absolute GOAT, with now having 2 titles as the only one. The racing that we've seen between them this time around was extremely exciting. There were times where it felt like they never took the racing line really and just tried to do switchback or had to cover the inside, and yeah, it got a bit close as well, especially on that straight. But then Laguno also let Crustunet by again, and I don't know, it was a bit unusual to see, but I think it's all good between the 2 of them. This level that they've been having their fight on was never seen before the German Grand Prix last season, I have to say, which still is one of the greatest races ever, but just between these 2. And there were phenomenal moments between them again at Portimao, where Laguno, of course, did the last to first challenge. Suddenly he was there, suddenly he also slipped ahead of Crustunet. There wasn't so much wheel-to-wheel action, but it ended up to be another photo finish with 200s separating them. Then at Spain, there was the absolute peak. They just both took first place together. Huge tension as well in the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And at Istanbul, where it just gets very, very tight because of the corner types and because of Justin, who was defending from them like a lion. And now again, some beautiful moves from them in Canada. But Sigma Bob stole the show on this one. And here is the confirmation that Aston Martin is going to leave the Ultimate Mobile Racing League. 57 points weren't enough. They are the best scoring last place team ever. And so the relegation rule claims one of the OG teams from Season 1 as a victim. Miyamura gave them their first podium back then around Spa. That was also the time where Silo and Oski were racing. Oski, of course, the team owner until the very end. In Season 2, they had Matt and probably the most defining driver for this team, Crustunet, who then also picked up their first win in an absurd photo finish with flicks at the fictional Singapore track. In the winter 2025 season, they took the fight to Etruria Racing Team with Crustunet and F1 Fan, also an unbelievable lineup. Crustunet also managed to get his and Aston's first pole at Silverstone, but both championships did go Etruria's way. The spring season was difficult for them, no podiums. Alonso took his first pole position with Aston Martin. And then in the summer season, especially in the second half, Crustunet returned, winning races again, but then he headed off to Williams for this one season. Thank you, Oski, for the memories. The Aston Martin Ultimate Mobile Racing Team will always be in our green hearts. APA Racing Team just lives to fight another day, while MP Motorsport even jumps up to P6 with Sigma Bob's victory ahead of Hurricane Racing Team. As always, I'm looking forward to finding out what's gonna happen to that team, whether it still exists, because Kato was supposed to race this season, but then he didn't. And of course, he's still the team owner since Season 1. And now they're working together with the Etruria Racing Team. So let's see if Kato is actually in this. But he actually owns the team now together with Cider, and Miserb is the team principal on top of that. And that's why it still always works out. MP Motorsport in 6th place, just 3 points behind S25M, of course, who themselves just jumped up there after Senna's first win. And Minardi closed up to 1 time, only half a point, still keeps 1 time in 3rd, as 1 time had a good first half and Minardi a good second half. And then we come to the only 2 really consistent teams, Etruria Racing Team though clearly overshadowed by Williams this season, as you might have noticed. Etruria have taken a truly iconic 1-2 at Silverstone, but Williams did so a whopping 6 times, after we've never seen a 1-2 since Season 1 Round 3. And both their drivers with 9 podiums as well. Laguno just missing out at Silverstone, and Crustunet with his retirement, of course, last week. It's been a season for a team that won't be repeated that quickly again. Big congratulations to Nikhil, who is confirmed, at least for now. The new season still starts in 3 weeks, which is a relatively long time in our universe, but he's confirmed for now that he's going to be a main driver again for Williams. He was looking for a second driver, considered Majumdar, jumping up from S25M again, because Maju's now got a team owner, or not. Now that plan is abolished anyway, because Majumdar retired, and so Nikhil might return to regular racing, which would mean the return of a Season 1 OG. I say thank you for watching this season, for following the amazing fights between the 2 Williams. And for Season 7, we're gonna return maybe at the very start of January for the winter 2026 season. Time really is flying. I wish you a happy holiday and happy new year then. See you around.
Bye bye.